Please join me in welcoming Parag Parekh, a visionary entrepreneur and the founder of Property Pro, one of UAE's leading real estate brokerage and property management firms. With years of hands-on experience navigating the dynamic property market of the UAE, Parag has built a business rooted in integrity, trust, and transparency. He is not just a real estate expert. He is a passionate advocate for purpose-driven investments and long-term value. Today, he is here to talk about the deeper side of real estate, where he has helped n number of communities being shaped, businesses build legacies, and foster meaningful growth in individual investments. Let's dive into his journey and hear firsthand what inspired him to step into property management and development here in the UAE. So, thank you so much for doing this, Parag. Really appreciate your time. And you will be happy to know that you're the first of the few men that I've interviewed on this podcast. So congratulations for that. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Parag?
So first is thank you for inviting. And I'm also very happy that this is going to be my first podcast ever.
Oh, so it's a first for both of us.
First for both of us. So thanks for that. Thanks for technically pushing me, because I've been thinking for a while, and I think
I'm very good at pushing. Sometimes I know that you're avoiding it, and then I'll be persistent. So that's a skill that I know, which works in sales and especially with property and real estate as well, right? So yeah.
So thanks for that. Yeah. How it goes is that sometimes even self-driven people also require some push.
Yes.
So, and I really appreciate that you did that for me.
Thank you.
So, coming to who Parag is one of, on my professional sphere, I'm a real estate broker, one of the successful ones in Dubai. And thanks to all well-wishers, friends, and my strong set of clients who believed in me.
Yeah.
And I think made me reach at this level. And I'm very, very happy to be a part of the growth story of Dubai, where I have contributed a bit on my part. And Property Pro is one of our companies, one of our group companies, where Property Pro is a leading real estate brokerage firm, and we are based out of Sheikh Zayed Road. And we are a one-stop shop solution for the real estate needs of the growing market of UAE. I think we've got a very, very strong team with diverse nationalities.
Okay.
We do buying, selling, renting, property management, primary markets, secondary markets. So pretty much everything which any investor and user would look at.
So I'm going to ask you some very basic questions also sometimes. If I don't understand the terminology you're throwing at me, yeah? You just mentioned something related to primary and secondary market. What does that mean?
Okay, I got it. So primary market is basically an off-plan developments are called primary markets, where we buy directly from the developers. Most of the buyers would want to go through agents only for multiple reasons, that we can secure them the right spots. We can tell them more about the community. We can tell them the pros and the cons. We can tell them the comparatives, which if any buyer would go directly to a developer, they may not share everything with them. A secondary market is more of a resale, where the property is already bought by a buyer once or multiple times from a developer, and then it's back into the market for selling.
Okay. All right. Clear now. So what brought you to begin with in the property market? Was it a life changing moment? Was it something that's a legacy, family legacy? What was it that brought you into property?
I think you caught it right. It was a family legacy. I think we've been a family of realtors for many years. I think my father used to practice real estate brokerage back in Mumbai for almost 50 plus years. I mean, and then I came here, I was a banker initially, but then coming from a very business family, Uh, Bank was something which I wasn't sure I was able to open or no. So then, coming from a real estate background, I thought this is the thing for me. Ever since my childhood days, we have seen is heard about is properties.
It was sort of your comfort zone.
It is absolutely a comfort zone. But then what we need to know is it was very, very challenging and different because real estate market, it's a very, very different market. It works very differently in cities like Mumbai, where the profession is not looked upon as very, very well, at least in those days. And whereas in a place like Dubai, it is a very, very, very prestigious thing. So,
So it's not a prestige one or a prestige-led perception when you're talking about a realtor from Bombay, a real estate agent from Bombay. But here, it's in Dubai, real estate agents are probably one of the richest downright.
that's what they say.
Bags full of money. Yeah. So you were saying that you were a banker before for a bit, and then you went back to real estate. Why did you go into banking in the first place then?
So when I came to Dubai, there was a banking job which was available. I always wanted to be in real estate, but then probably the markets were too new. I thought that I've just come in Dubai fresh.
Okay.
So, I need to establish myself a little bit more before I start to go into the real estate market. Because in 2003 is when there was a decree on real estate. In 2004, all the launches started.
Yes.
That was the time I just came into Dubai.
Oh.
So I was still exploring the city, and once I understood the potential in the next 2-3 years, I was like almost sure. And then I waited for the right moment, and then I decided to move in 2008.
This is probably going to be a very obvious question, but I still want to ask. I think there might be some nuggets of wisdom there. You've been in the industry from, let's say, just the beginning here, and it's a long time. You've seen the ups, you've seen the lows. You've probably also faced them personally, right? In terms of, business not doing very well and business doing exceedingly well. What have you learned over these years?
So it was a difficult time. In fact, I didn't even know the meaning of recession. I had to look literally that what does it mean and what happens and who all are impacted and things like that. But then once I knew about it, it was, I was like, oh, it's not a good thing. But then the opportunities started to pop up. The market started to shift. It used to be a buyer's market always, which moved to a seller's market. Seller's market will typically be where, the sellers decide the price, which is currently in 2025. But then in those days, it used to be a seller's market, which moved to a buyer's market. So that's how it was.
Because there was a tad bit more supply than what the demand.
Supply, and it was also a fear factor. People didn't want to buy because everybody was waiting, watching that, hey, what is going to be the impact and things like that. So yes, so that was a low. But then I was very, very happy and thanking God that it came up too early once I joined the industry, because my learning curve, we always learn during the downs. Yeah.
Yes.
So that really helped me, and all my clients, once I understood, my first 2-3 sales were, driven by sellers who feared that this market might collapse. But then looking at the way Dubai was growing, I used to tell them that, hey, don't sell. Don't get into panic selling mode. Then when I realized that doesn't work, words doesn't work, and then I realized that, hey, they want to sell, I will advise that do not sell, but then at the end of the day, they are the owners and it's their call. So they decided to sell, and, we made money, and then they made money almost, I will not say, relatively they made money. Their profit shrunk, but then they were happy with it. At least there is some money which is there. And then I realized that, even in this difficult times also, the opportunities were all over the place. And then I started to get deeper into it. I called up a lot of my friends. I asked them to invest in Dubai real estate. Everybody was fearful, but I said, I think you should not look at the current situation, but you should look at the future. Have a horizon of 5 years at least, because that's what normally real estate normally should have a horizon of 3 to 5 years. if you really want to make money on the whole thing.
So you've made a lot of millionaires here.
I've made a lot of millionaires as well. Yes.
Very nice. Very nice. What was the lowest part of your careers and of this journey in real estate and Property Pro? Lowest meaning when you almost wanted to give up. Was there?
There was.
Yeah?
Yeah, there was.
Okay.
So this was in the initial days, and there were times when the market would be a plateau. The investors would investors or buyers would evaporate. You would not see them
And disappear, right?
and disappear. I mean, they're like wanting to buy, but not getting the right opportunity, not wanting to give the right price, sellers not agreeing to selling at that price, etc., etc. So technically, the deal wouldn't happen.
Mm.
So, and especially during summers.
Mm.
So, there was a time way back in, I think there was probably a 2009 or 10, probably a year after, recession.
Mm.
And there was a time that I felt that, hey, I've been trying and trying hard. That 2 months was a time when, the sales were at a plateau and
For you.
for us,
Mm.
and as a company. And I decided 2
Does
months.
that mean a lot because it's very circular or reactive? 2 months means what? What is the impact for you and your business?
As you know, Dubai is an expensive city.
Yes.
So the costs are
Month to month.
month to month, whatever, quarter to quarter. The cost per se would not decrease. They will continue to be there, or rather it would increase.
Yeah.
Whereas the income against that would not be there. So yes, there were pressures, and it was too early for me as well to understand that I should keep some provision and things like that. And then I learned.
Why do you think you did not jump ship?
So there was a moment during that time, one of my bank manager called me and he's like, hey Parag, markets are not doing well, and I hope you are doing well, but if you're not, then I'll even take you back. We might not have a senior position because it is, there is freeze technically on
Hiring
recruitment.
freeze, yes.
But then, I'll create a position, and I really wanted to say yes, I think,
And what made you say no? Or what made you not take that opportunity?
So I told him that, hey, thank you for offering me this. Give me 48 hours to decide before I tell you a yes or a no. I thought a lot about it. I went deep down, and then I thought, hey, this is all that you have known, and I don't think that you should jump back. You have now gone into the mainstream. Please continue in the mainstream. And my gut feel said that, we have reached here, and we'll find a way ahead. And that's what exactly happened. Yeah.
And, doing something which you've done as a legacy and as a generational business, there's always going to be that comfort. But then with the comfort, you also need to have some sort of purpose of your own that you can align with your current venture. So what is that purpose that you have, that you've built Property Pro? Was it called Property Pro even in India with your family business?
No. In
It was called
India, it was called something else.
Property Pro is your baby and your brand.
Property Pro is my baby and my brand, which I used to think of even when I was working with the bank. Like I always used to think in the back of my mind.
So Parag, it is a generational business and it is a legacy business. However, because you're in a different market compared to what your parents were, what your family was back in India, is there a particular niche or a type of clientele that you cater to as a majority? And the personas, anything uniquely similar about them but yet different?
So, of course, back in Mumbai, where it all started with my family there, we had people from different regions, and coming to a diverse place like Dubai, where you have multinationalities and people from all walks of life, and different backgrounds, different culture.
In Dubai, how was it? What kind of people are your clients?
So, I mean, majority, since I come from Mumbai, it will be Asians are majority of my clients.
Yeah, that is a given.
And then along with that, I also had clients from US, Canada, UK, a lot of Western countries, which was a mix of Asians which had moved to Asia and people from that particular countries as well, from Africa.
Yeah.
Also, we had quite a few clients.
And what is the commonality that you see in them? You know that this person is of this. I have to ask them these questions, or these are the questions I will need to answer for them. There's something very common with them. Like it can even be a behavior pattern, decision-making pattern, or a family structure or a life stage. What is it common? What is it?
So with all these people, what normally I would do is that I'm somebody who likes to answer questions before probably I would know their background. I would know what a typical investor or an end user need. So I'll try my best to first add that in my conversation and share it with them. For example, if there is somebody who wants to settle into Dubai. So if I'm showing a community, if I know that they have got kids with an age group of 3 to 5 years, then I would tell them about the schools, about the nurseries and things like that. Where if there is an investor who's there, I would tell them about the ROIs of various places and why this place is the best for them.
And which of these are your personal majorities? I'm sure your team is now catering to different diasporas of targets, but which people resonate with you the most? Investors or end users?
Both, but investors more of, because coming from a banking background, I wanted to bring that I would say an investor-driven mindset to the industry, which was lacking then, and I would say still there is a huge gap. Because
all the investors that most of the investors that you deal with and cater to as your clients, are they high risk takers or not so high risk takers?
So we got a mix. I think we got a mix of some who are just entering into the market. They are the ones who would want to go with a low risk. So we always advise them, even if they want to build a big portfolio, we tell them that why don't you buy anything which is 1 million, 2 million. So which is like a very basic, just to test the waters. And then once you are comfortable with that, you go for whatever amount that you have in mind.
Yeah.
So we always like that even somebody who wants to go bullish, we will advise them. But then if we think that no, now he's already ready to take the plunge, he's done more homework, because as you know, clients these days, they know a lot more.
People,
yeah, they would have done their homework and things like that. They're just looking for somebody they can trust.
Yes.
They can give them the right advice that, hey, really what I have thought is what even if you have thought, being on the ground.
They just want validation of their thought process, right?
They just want to.
And what about the end users? Are they the risk takers or do they not take risks?
Oh, a lot of end users are also risk takers, because we see this trend in the last, I would say, 5 to 7 years around COVID, post-COVID, that a lot of people, COVID made a lot of people think about that, hey, our house is small, or we have this needs for our home or house.
What is the difference between them?
So even some, we saw that, all these end users as well were technically investors, because most of them know that today if they're buying a 2-bedroom apartment, over a period of time, their needs would increase with either a growing family or something or the other, or family members getting added into the family. So they would go ahead to invest, or rather buy something which suits their needs for the moment.
For now, yes.
For now, but then they are also very clear that, hey, now in some time we want to just move on to either a villa if they are into an apartment, or from a 3-bedroom villa into a 4-bedroom or a 5-bedroom, or change of community.
I see a commonality between your investors and end users. I see that they are always in for the long haul, so they want to invest in real estate, a big chunk of their portfolio, and that's where you come in, right?
True. However, what we tell them is, I think in real estate and in looking at the current market scenario, you should have a horizon of anywhere between 3 to 5 years at least. Of course, there are opportunities where we make them, invest and exit within a year or less as well. Sometimes even a few months.
Yeah.
But then largely, so a 3 to 5 years horizon is what we ask them to hold on to in order to get the right returns for their properties.
And all of this is based on one thing that comes to my mind, one word, it's trust. So How does trust play a long-term role in your relationship with your customers and, just the entire real estate industry?
Bedstone, it's the bedrock for our industry per se, because any transaction that you see, the smallest transaction, let's say a studio will be a 500-600 or a 700,000 dirhams, and that's the minimum transaction. So anybody who's buying a property needs to have a high level of trust, because it's not only about advising on the property, but it's ensuring that all the other aspects of buying real estate or selling a real estate is with the right person. So, I mean, it's only the trust levels are basically very, very high. And I think most of them would have come through the word of mouth from people who have experienced Property Pro, who have experienced superior level of service, who have experienced integrity, who have experienced transparency in the laws, etc., etc.
So it's very difficult to kind of drive to one purpose or drill down to one purpose in an industry which is so often driven by numbers, right? Your industry is purely driven by numbers. Everything is related to numbers, ROI, future growth, and everything numbers, to say the least. How do you define purpose there?
I think this is purely driven by numbers. I fully agree.
So numbers then becomes the purpose?
No. Numbers does not become the purpose, because apart from that, it's always the value that we give to the customers. I think for me, that's been my driving force. I mean, if you just see the world around in the last 10 to 20 years, most of the people in our circle has made ample money. Now, what is important is that these people, they have been investing in various markets across not only regional markets, but international markets as well. And Dubai being a global city, what I see is that they come to you with a lot of hopes. However, to find the right person has always been difficult. So I saw a very big gap there. As you rightly said, that majority of our industry is driven by numbers, and greed also it's unfortunately driven by greed as well.
Yes.
So, I mean, where my value system comes, or our value system comes as a group, is that we were never driven only by numbers. We wanted to give wow moments to our customers, to our clients. We wanted to ensure that, the experience in buying as well a real estate was hassle-free, and, because they would rely on the right people who knew and understood the processes. So there was a big gap, and I thought that I wanted to wow my customers, and that is one of the things which drives me then and now as well.
Is running a property business easy? Yes, no?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
What is the most difficult thing that goes unseen?
It's the expectations, managing the expectations of, both the parties. I think that is one of the challenging things in a seller's market. The sellers would expect more and more and more, and the buyers would want to pay less and less and less.
What advice would you give to a new entrepreneur who's just starting off and wants to launch his own real estate business, his or her own real estate business? What is the advice?
I would say do your homework well. I think what has been happening in the last 1 or 2 years, there has been new real estate licenses. If my statistics go right, I think there have been anywhere between 5 to 10,000 new real estate businesses which were registered.
Oh, just in this industry,
just in this industry, which is a very, very high number.
Yes, of course.
But then what happens is that we need to know to do it right. And, if you've done your homework and after that you have started, because to start a business of real estate in Dubai is not cheap. It is a very expensive proposition if you want to do things right, for your advertising, for your branding, for your, spending on the right people and things like for the welfare of the people, etc., etc. So if you have, well thought in all these things, then I think you should think about opening a company. Else, there are so many companies which have been offering decent amount of commission. You should discuss it out and then work it out till you think this is the right time.
And then on the side of property management, the other business that you have. And that's also something that you are, I think you're one of the few people who has that mix of, real estate, brokerage, as well as the after.
Right.
So what is one thing which is the most challenging in property management that most people don't know or overlook?
Yeah. So most of the people think property management means just about collection of rents. They think it's all about if there is a maintenance issue, then, they are the guys who will go there. But I think property management is much, much, much beyond that. Yeah. Property management is also about fostering a healthy relationship between between the landlord, or you as the landlord's representative, and the tenant. That's very, very important, ensuring that...
You think every person who is not in this country, an investor who is not in this country, needs a property manager to manage his...
That's a good question. Yeah, ideally, they should have, especially for ready properties, because what happens is that you need a local representation. And I would personally say that it's not only anybody who's not in this country, even people who are in the country.
Yeah.
Because let's get that even if you've been in the country for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, you are an expert in your own domain. But when it comes to properties, it's us or companies like us who are experts. So you need somebody to balance your relationship, because a landlord and a tenant, there is always a conflict of interest.
Absolutely.
Most of the times wherein, the landlord is expecting, because he has invested heavily into that particular property.
Yes.
He is expecting the highest return in terms of rent, and a tenant is not wanting to give a rent. It's also about legally telling them who's right and who's not. A lot of tenants would just want to go ahead and, claim that, hey, this is my right.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't work. So a landlord, if he doesn't know the laws pretty well, he doesn't know the legal framework, then he may just say yes. And also property management, what it does, it enhances the revenues of landlord as well.
Yes.
Landlord.
Because then you have the best interest of the landlord, and you obviously are on par with market trends, market news, new laws and regulations related to tenant management.
Yeah, and we cannot take sides, basically. I mean, and that I think is very, very important in property management. For us, both are our clients, and we need to see that it's a well balanced thing. Yeah.
Is there one particular piece of learning you'd like to share with, or one particular experience that you'd like to share with me here, of a badly managed property and probably the best managed property? Don't tell me it was mine, okay? We've had our journey with my property, but yes. Tell me one experience that you think a lot of people should learn from, that you've had to manage. You don't need to name any. I mean, the people, but what was that one experience which you learned from as well?
So I think one thing I would say is it's very, very important to be transparent to both the landlord and the tenant, because intentions are something which would not be, seen or known, and they would be known only after a period of time.
So you think that transparency between you and the landlord or you and the tenant is important, or all three ways?
All three.
How can that even happen? Because everyone has their own vested interest, which you just said, right?
Well, partly, but what happens is, at the end of the day, for a landlord, he has a property which is giving on rent. For a tenant, he's taking the property on rent to enjoy, ideally for himself. We have come across situations where tenants would be very, very sweet, tell the landlords or tell us that, hey, I want it for me and my family, and then over a period of time, we understand and realize that, hey, they're not using it for themselves. They're using it for a business or something like that. So, which is not something which is even legal in Dubai.
True.
So, we had a situation whereby, there was a tenant who said that, hey, it is for my family. And in fact, these are the tenants who will try to show you everything as well about their family, so that, they feel that, hey, I'm a legit guy. And
they're showing off that.
They're showing off because they need to prove, they need to build the trust.
Yes.
And then what we do is we normally do a quarterly/6 monthly checks on all our properties which are managed by us. Now, in that, it helps for the upkeep of the property. We get to know if it's even, it could be a basic family who's staying there, and how are they keeping the property. It helps to enhance the
asset value.
value as well, and the longevity of the asset as well. So with this is when we discover any of these kind of things which has been happening. And I think that's one of the strong reasons I always say that even if you've got landlords who we have been managing, right from somebody who's just bought a property first time in Dubai, till people who have been in the country for 40-45 years and they've been owning multiple properties. They've been having lower returns, and then we take over, and then, we balance it out to see that property of theirs starts making them a little bit more money than...
In your opinion, Parag, the current millennial that is probably in mid-management, mid-career today, what should their asset portfolio look like when it comes to real estate? What percentage of it should be real estate?
I personally, being in real estate and being more bullish, I would say anywhere between a 50 to 60% if you put it in real estate. I think real estate has historically given fantastic returns, and it's always about knowing the gaps. Like for us, our clients, we give them returns. People who are happy with 5 to 7% returns, we give them 5 to 7% returns. But we always advise them that, hey, it's not a risk, but then it's like a calculated risk. We have given returns right from 20% up to 200% per annum as well to our clients.
Wow, 200% is massive.
It is indeed.
Those would be more for the off-plan?
Those are more for the off-plan. Yeah, I mean, they are off-plan only. But then in off-plan as well, there are so many developers, so many projects. All we need to do is we need to select the right project, the right developer who will deliver on time, who may have the right payment plan, which will make a lot of sense for the investor and give them timely returns as well.
There's a new trend right now that has come up, Parag, in the property market or in the real estate industry here, where you buy fractional amounts of property and you co-own it. What's your take on it?
I think it's a very interesting concept, and I think the government or the torchbearers of the city and nation are very forward thinking. So I think the concept has been there for a while, but it has been informally there, and now it is formally adopted. So this would do well. Like as you know, most of the people in the whole world would want to have a share of the growing Dubai real estate market.
Exactly.
But then what lacks is the capital.
Exactly. They might not have the full capital to invest in the full property, but they probably have 1/3. Just to give you an instance, my friend, one of my very close friends is planning to move to the UAE, and he wants to settle down and getting married and whatever else. And two of us others want to invest in a property, and we don't want to put everything, all our eggs in that one basket. And we're thinking of an equation where the three of us can invest, let him come and stay, and the rent piece or whatever. What do you think about that? This is happening with your clients as well? Do you see multiple owners and people coming in? Traditionally, this was never something accepted.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think what you are referring to, the fractional ownership, is different than probably what you just mentioned. That your friends would want to come and all three would buy a property and then one of them would stay in it. Is that what you?
Yes and no. Maybe all three of us buy the property and then invest it as a rental income to pay for it, or it can be both ways. I'm just saying this is one of the avenues that I'm thinking.
So one thing is the fractional ownership, whereby there is a legal framework, there's a financial framework
now. Yeah,
and then there's a financial framework whereby, for example, I could own 3 square feet or a 5 square feet unit, approximately.
5 square feet is like nothing.
Is nothing. Yeah, but then that's what fractional ownership.
Yeah,
kind of. Yeah. So that's what is fractional ownership all about. And I think people would be able to invest even, let's say, 10,000 dirhams in one of the properties.
What would be the lock-in period then for that? Like that kind of thing. Is there a norm over there?
Normally it is up to, depending on the property, but ideally it's anywhere between a 1 year to a 3 year. But
1 to 3 years. Okay.
Yeah. But then there are exit clauses as well, that if somebody wants to exit early as well, there are, with some penalties.
And your customers, the current customer base that you have, client base that you have, is moving towards that or not so much?
They have been inquiring. We have not actively got there, but then I think it's a matter of time we should go there. I mean, there are some companies which are promoting it actively, and I think it's a matter of time we tie up with them or probably open up one.
Yes, absolutely. So do you think this trend, which is obviously kicking in quite fast and rapidly, is going to create a new segment of audiences or clients for you? Or will it cannibalize on the existing ones? Because then the ticket prices for each of them reduce, right?
I think for the moment, it looks like that it will cannibalize. Yeah.
Because not many new people are inquiring about it.
Correct. But then looking at that would also come up with another set of investors who would want to first test the market, experiment, who would want to not get put in, a huge amount, like 10,000-20,000 dirhams. A lot of people, would have it. So it's like more about, I will not say crowdfunding, but something similar, that there are so many people who are putting little money. And I mean, probably let's say if one person is buying a 1.2 million property, against that, there are, 100 buyers.
100?
Or 50 buyers who are buying, who's paying a little bit smaller amount and would want to invest.
And in the sale, how does that impact? Everybody has to sell, or can there be a buyout, or how?
There can be an internal buyout first is what it works. And as I said, that they have just set up the framework. So it's evolving. So it's a matter of time. Everything would be, much more transparent and things like that.
I definitely want to bring you in again and have a more deeper conversation when it comes to industry and, everything related to real estate, because it's there, it's been there. But now the evolution with AI, the evolution of blockchain, the evolution of crypto, all of this has opened so many different avenues of investments. It's not the traditional gold and property anymore.
True.
And I really want to be one of the few people, at least women investors, who want to advise as well as who want to impart that kind of good knowledge. I've been doing a lot of work around Asian women trying to invest their incomes and, having different avenues of income streams. Coming to that point, I just want to understand, how is your team split like? Your team at Property Pro, what is the male-female split?
So we've got a mix. I think I wouldn't say it's 50%, but then it should be around 65-35.
Almost 50-50. That's good. That's really good. Better than most places, most corporate cultures as well.
But I would say that, house is in real estate, you have a commercial real estate and then you have a residential real estate. In Dubai, a residential real estate plays a very huge part. House is a very personal thing, especially for a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
that's where the win is. Yeah,
I mean, they are much more better because they understand the needs of a house much better than probably a male, because I think we males are out most of the times and things like that. But for them, they understand the finer aspects of being in a house, what an end user would be looking at, and things like that. So I think, and again, they are very good in networking in general, and then in today's world, as they say, your net worth is your net worth.
Your net worth, yes.
So I think they're very good at, they anyways informally have been meeting at, making connections is, they're very, very good at. And I see, a huge trend that there are women who are moving to real estate. And I think more so it is also flexibility, because let's say if there will be a homemaker who's also wanting to get into real estate, just to begin and invest their time more wisely. And especially if they have kids and when kids have gone to school. So if they decide to work for, let's say, 3 or 4 hours in a day, I mean, it's absolutely.
I was just going to ask you on this, that is, in real estate, does it need to be like a full-time career that you build on, or can it be a side hustle?
It could be a side hustle, but then all we need to know is the commitment levels are high. So you should be efficient enough to, let's say you have those spare 3 or 4 hours, but in that 3 or 4 hours,
you should be productive.
You should be very, very productive in order to ensure that
Yeah. I would also assume you come from a background where you're saying, and you also imbibe that in your team. I know that there's a lot of research that one needs to do, and they need to know every single part of the city and the market that they cater to, right? So when that happens, a side hustle might just limit one's growth there. It depends on how you approach the side hustle, I think.
real estate is all about giving solutions.
Giving solutions.
So it's about you finding the solution for any problem which has come before you. So let's put it up that way. Let's say if a woman entrepreneur, a woman would want to move to real estate. Now, one of the thing in research, as you said, is that we need to understand the communities. Now, let's say somebody is staying in Barsha and somebody is trying to sell at DWC, which is an upcoming community.
Yeah.
So what would one do is, one is they need to spend enough time. So
In that place.
in that
Yes,
community,
in that vicinity.
in that vicinity, yeah. That let's say she goes for a long drive with her family. She could go for a long drive with her family and then know and understand the entire way. Explore. So it's kind of balanced, you know. So like this, you need to find small solutions to, it is not only side hustle may not work, but then you can manage, I think, if you try to be more efficient.
Amazing. I think that brings a close to my questions. The last segment that I usually do is a rapid fire round,
Okay.
commonly known as one word for the question that we ask you. And I just have about 4 questions, 4 questions that are there. Shall we do that?
Please.
So thank you so much for doing this. We'll go with the rapid fire now. Most underrated area to invest in UAE?
I would say Dubai South for the moment. I mean, Dubai South, when I say is, so one is Dubai South as the south of Dubai, and one is Dubai South as a developer. I will not say it's underrated, but then, yeah, a lot of people don't know about it and things like that. But the communities they're coming up is fantastic.
One property, deal or project that taught you the biggest life lesson? One project or one property deal? You can take your pick.
One deal or one project, yeah?
Yeah. Whatever you want to, whatever comes to your mind.
Yeah, I think the one, should I name the project, yeah?
Please.
Yeah, that's California Village in Wadi Al Safa 4, which is next to IMG World.
Why?
Because I think I had personally I didn't gauge that project pretty well. I didn't, pay too much attention to the potential of the place, probably. That area is coming up like anything.
It is, isn't it? Both sides.
Both the sides. You have Arabian Ranches on the rear side. You have Arabian Ranches 3 on the rear side. Arabian Ranches 1 on one side.
Villa on the
Global
other side.
Village, the Villa, Al Barari on the opposite. So I think that area will come up fantastically well in the coming few months / years. And I think all the anchor developers are already there.
Yeah. I have my eyes on that area. I don't know which one yet, but I have my eyes on that area.
You can take advice from us.
Of course. Who else will I come to? So to end with, one quote or mantra that you live by in your business?
I think it's all about actions. Yeah. It's, our customers come to us in a crowded real estate market, or our clients come to us, or buyers, sellers, landlords, tenants, they come to us is only because we do the right things. So what I learn is that people buy from you not because of what you say, but because of what you do.
What you do.
And I think
what you do in your business and what you do for them as well, right?
For them as well. I mean, I'm talking basically for them first, and then that's how business thrives, because ours always has been a customer-centric, company. And I would always put my client's interest first, and maybe probably after that mine. So I think we do the right things for them, which they experience, and then they will refer us to more people, and then they will come back to us again and again. I think that's what is success for us. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you.